Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? It's me, Ryder Champouillon, Point of Life Acupuncture, and coming to you today from a little outdoor landscape, my backyard. I figured I want to drop in today into nature and talk to you all about migraines and allergies, both of which I've had a long history of. My allergies as a child, teenager, and young adult were horrendous. Constantly runny noses to the point of having to blow my nose so often it was bleeding. On top of that, sinus pressure, the runny eyes, all those things as well too. So allergies are something that are very, very common, especially this time of the year. Bad news is you're probably a little bit late to stop them from happening, but good news is we can give you some ideas on how to relieve them and get some of that pressure out of your head and get back to your normal state of life. What's up, Miss Claire? How are you doing? Good to see you. Hope everything's settled down in your life. Joe from Kokomo, my brother from another mother. Charlie Raymond, how you doing there? Mr. Susan, good to see you today as well. Ryan and Susan Coyle, good to see you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry if we're having a bad connection today. Let me try getting a little bit closer to the house. Maybe the Wi-Fi signal will be a little stronger there. So allergies, guys. Allergies come from a number of different reasons. You know, we can have allergies due to things that we eat, allergies due to pollen and things like that. And you know, all of them are really kind of very similarly related in the fact that they cause different immune responses in the body, histamines to be released, and so forth. But there are a couple different things that you can do to help minimize these things and have them not be so much of a problem. Biggest thing is really checking your diet, of course. You know what my saying is, if it comes from a box, a bag, or can, it's not meant to be eaten by a human. But if it comes from a tree, the ground, or runs around, eat as much of it as can be found. So that's my little saying on things, choices that you should be making as eating-wise. Anything that's processed, guys, your body has to take some time to break down that food, just as it was information. If you got told a long story, you have to sit and process it for a little while. The body's the same way. So as we take in information, it very often gets overdone, overworked, kind of like Lucille Ball in the chocolate factory when she starts taking the chocolates and stuffing them down her shirt because there's too much for her to deal with at that time. When that happens, your body starts to go into inflammatory processes and things start to go haywire. So cleaning the diet out will give your body more resources naturally to be able to work with. You got to remember, your body has one job through the entirety of its life, and that is to rebuild you bigger, better, and stronger each and every day. So if you're spending time to try to rebuild yourself and you give yourself shitty-ass products to work with, it ain't going to work well. If you're trying to make a nice meal for yourself, you want to have the best quality ingredients. If you're trying to build a house for your children, you'd want to make sure that the structures and resources that you're using, the bricks and the wood, the lumber, the electrical wires, were all top-quality things. You wouldn't want your kids to live in a crappy house. So why are you putting crappy food into your body, and how do you expect your body to be able to treat and handle you properly and get all the actions that you want out of it if you've been putting crap into it? So a couple other little tips for you too with allergies. Natural honey is always a good one. You want to get raw unprocessed honey. It should be almost like peanut butter consistency. The more liquefied it is, it's the more processed it is, and the more de-rarefied pollen that the bugs eat and process still maintains some of its natural identifying factors in the body without allowing the body to have allergic reactions to them. So it's kind of like having a vaccine, but from nature, without all the chemicals and heavy metals and nasty things that go into it. Also, too, surprisingly, apple cider vinegar is also absolutely fantastic for dealing with allergies as well, because it makes your body more alkaline. The more alkaline your body is, the less inflamed it is. The less inflamed it is, the less pressure you're going to have in those sinuses and so forth. So those are my tips for you for allergies as we're out in nature enjoying the spring weather. Next tip is a question I've had on how to deal with migraines. Now, let me tell you a little bit my first story of migraine. You know, a lot of people look for significance and look for a way to kind of get the biggest self-gratifying pleasures by challenging people's pains and illnesses and so forth. And nowadays, everybody who has a small little headache has, oh my God, I had the worst migraine. My first migraine was senior year of high school, just headed into finals time, I believe it was. Long story short, I went to get a glass of water before I left the house, and the glass slid out of my left hand. I fell on the floor, and the entire left side of my body was paralyzed. Ended up shaking that off pretty quickly. It was only paralyzed for a couple of moments. I got back up and then started speaking to my mom in what almost appeared to be as in tongues. The middles of all my sentences were missing. I was unable to make a complete statement or a sentence. Although I knew what I was trying to say, it was not coming out of my mouth. My brain was completely descrambled. And kind of interesting now knowing a little bit more about the neural anatomy of the body and why those different areas work the way that they do, how I was able to come up with the sentences and know the words that I was looking for, but able to produce them. It's kind of like Ozzy Osbourne speaking. He can't make a damn sentence, but he listens to him sing, and he sings fantastically. So that was my first experience with migraines. I was in the hospital for 3 days getting all sorts of contrast, non-contrast, CTs, ultrasounds, brain topography readings, all sorts of crazy stuff, and they really couldn't find anything abnormal with my brain. A couple small blood vessel abnormalities, but nothing that I had a stroke or anything like that, seizures, and those were things that they were ruling out, being that I was paralyzed for that period of time. So the next couple of years coming up on that, I was on some pharmaceutical interventions for that. This is, I was in high school still a long time ago, and they would work, but occasionally I'd still have my migraines. I had things to take, when they affected, when they came on as needed, and things that were supposed to be taken every single day. I said, I really just don't feel like being on medication for long periods of times, to start trying to get off of them and researching some alternative cares for that. And what I ended up finding for myself through some research is, now let's fast forward too. Now it's, I'm through my school, I'm through my degree, I'm working in an acupuncture office next door to the neurology office. We had a lot of clients that were coming in from the neurologist based on neurological problems, migraines being one of the largest ones, and their pharmaceutical interventions and wanting to get off their medications. So what did we do? I ended up speaking to some functional neurologists and functional medical practitioners and tested it out on myself and found that it worked very well and started releasing it with my clients. Is that the combination of CoQ10 as well as magnesium bisglycinate work absolutely well for both regulating the neurological imbalances that can control migraines, as well as the cardio blood vessel irregularities, the compression, expansion, and contraction, and the vasodilation and compression of the blood vessels in the brain, as well as the neurological mediators to the magnesium. So that was actually pretty intense to find out. What ended up happening was, I'd say probably close to about 80-85% of the migraine clients that I had that were coming in that choose to switch and add in some nutraceuticals ended up finding out that they no longer needed their pharmaceutical recommendations. So that was a great thing, and we worked with their neurologist at that time to make sure that they were off their medications appropriately and correctly without any adverse reactions and so forth. So CoQ10 we recommend 200 milligrams per day, typically with a vitamin E also added to it. The vitamin E specifically helps to bind the CoQ10, make it a little bit more easily absorbable, and better absorption, better bioavailability within the body, and more reactive. And magnesium is super important. You want to have magnesium bisglycinate. Bisglycinate is a very different kind of structure of magnesium. This different little plug that sticks off the end and how it reacts with your body. Doesn't give you any of the adverse side effects that magnesium sometimes can, like a magnesium citrate that will have you in the bathroom all day. A lot of times people use that for part of their detox protocols. Don't recommend that either. It will flush you out really well, but it's not a pleasant situation when it does happen. But magnesium bisglycinate is super awesome, very soft on the body, great reactions, great for people that are deficient in magnesium. And two, also I'm thinking about it, I'm on the CoQ10 train here. We want to mention that CoQ10 should also be added into anybody that's on a statin regimen, because you will end up becoming CoQ10 deficient if you're on statins, especially exogenous statins. So those are my kind of tips for you today, guys, on migraines. So dealing with migraines, very much recommend CoQ10 and magnesium bisglycinate. Magnesium you want to have 100 milligrams 3 times a day for that, and the CoQ10 200 milligrams once per day. If you want to split it up to 100 twice per day, you can do that as well too. That's fine. So those are my 2 secrets for the for migraines. To recap on allergies, we want to make sure that we're not eating processed foods, giving the most natural foods we possibly can. Try to find some natural, organic, local-based honey that's been unprocessed, kind of that hard, crystalline, peanut butter kind of consistency on the thick stuff. Nothing that's squirting out of a bottle. Also some apple cider vinegar. Between the natural diet and those things. Also, too, guys, take out cheese, dairy, too. The increased mucus production will definitely have a super increase in your allergies. And another little thing you can do too is we have a couple products. Nasanol and Sinuplex are great for opening up the sinuses and reducing allergy symptoms. But if you're on if you're not on a probiotic and you want to get onto a probiotic during allergy season, Ultraflora Immune Booster, super good for respiratory infections, sinus infections, allergy symptoms, things like that, because the digestive health of the gut is number one thing for immune response in the body. So those are my points for you guys. I hope you got some information from that. I will post links to all those products underneath so you can do a little bit further research on that. And of course, if you have any questions, you guys know where to find me. Point of Life Acupuncture at acupunctureoflongisland.com. Our phone number is 631-629-LIFE. That's 5433. You can check out our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that because I don't put all my videos on Facebook, so some of them are up on there and always archived there for you. Instagram, check us out on there too. We got a couple other shows we do on Instagram throughout the week. Keep your eyes and ears out for Move, Think, Feel Better Fridays, where I'm going to show you guys some specific one-on-one tactics to deal with some of your aches and pains, mindfulness, give you better approaches to moving, thinking, and feeling better on your Fridays. And of course, to start the week off, Monday's point of the day, just a little cerebral fluid moving around there, get the brains moving, guys. So I love having you guys here. Thank everybody for tuning in today. Lindsay, Fred, good to see you guys. Michelle, like always, still drinking the mom. I love that. Congratulations to you on your success goals with your fitness and body transformation program you're working on. I'm glad to see that. Fred, my brother, it's always good to see you. And Adam, always a pleasure, man. Hit those questions back up to me. I love talking to you, my man. So that's it, guys. I'm going to get back on my day, heading up to regionals tomorrow for CrossFit, volunteering there to work out. And that's it, guys. Be well. Live life fully.